Filmatic. I am your host. Finish him. Bam! The Film Doctor.
And just like Jackson Briggs. And the third. Sir.
No, don't.
And we are back in the act with another hot film to dissect. Mortal Kombat! Coming to us from HBO Max and home box office. You know what to do.
Go ahead and hit us with that sponsorship. And as always, let's jump right into our film review. I would hate to compare this to like the old Mortal Kombat. I want to look at it as its own entity. And if I have to look at it as its own entity,
flawless victory.
It was definitely funnier. I laughed so much throughout this movie.
I don't know that this was meant for you to laugh.
It's not, but the thing is that they held true to the characters, and Kano, was the comedic humor.
Kano was probably the most entertaining character in this entire thing.
I loved Kano. I loved Jax. In terms of their comedic humor and delivery, it was perfect. I don't like the character that they're Kung Lao.
No.
He's a nobody. I follow him.
Cole Young.
No one cares about him. That's a nobody character.
Well, they had to find an excuse. It's linear.
It doesn't matter. That was the worst character to pick to follow the story of blah blah blah. We should have stuck with. Huh?
The Scorpion.
No. What are you talking about? Let me do my review. Anyway. So yeah, I just feel like they should have picked somebody better. I love how Sonya didn't have a marking, but she earned hers. I love all the different characters that you would see. I would have loved to see Raiden fight. The graphics to me were terrible. The music was okay. And when I say terrible in terms of graphics, it was like they green screened everything and CGI'd fake blood on there that you could tell was fake blood. I think it would have been more realistic just to use blood. I've seen horror movies where they have used gallons of fake blood, and this one is just like they CGI'd all of it. And it would have been more gruesome and foretelling for this movie if they would have used real blood instead of CGI blood for most of it. If they would have constructed sets. I mean, they're talking about how they're going to do 4 more movies, possibly on the success of this one. And I don't think that this one's going to have success because to me, it was still done wrong. Yes, you did well with introducing all these characters. You did well with developing these characters. You did well with telling the story and showing things that we wanted to see from a Mortal Kombat perspective. But you still dropped the ball when it came to graphics, when it came to set design. Everything was perfect. I think if they would have thrown one person in there that was well known, that would have helped it versus a lot of no names. So Michael J. White would have definitely helped out instead of this one. But I think that those reasons alone made it still like semi-average to good. So I'm going to give it a C+. I feel like it still could have been better. It's definitely not inside of the A caliber of movies that we have seen. And B, I think it's a disinjustice to say that it's definitely that fucking good, that it's just right under great. Like it was average, but it was close enough to where you had to not have dropped the ball to make that better. That's what I think.
Beyond.
Shall I even go further into that? Because the Bihan and the other name, that was stupid too. Like I guess they had to give him a name.
No, that makes sense. That is actually all of that actually makes sense.
No,
that actually follows the story arc, which is why they have 4 more movies up, and I know where they're going. You would know this if you were truly into Mortal Kombat.
I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but nobody cares about Kung Pao Chicken or whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh my god, his name is Cole Young. They tried to do a new character. Should they have done that?
And his powers were whack as shit. It was It was terrible.
You don't like his gold suit of armor?
I was like, what is going on here? What is the suit do anything?
And then we never know what his actual powers is. This motherfucking suit just what does it do?
It glows. It glows in the dark. If you hit him, it glows in the dark.
I'm not gonna tear this film apart, but okay.
And they tried to up it by giving him 2 little knives. Like that's not just okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was looking forward to Mortal Kombat. I'm like, yes, they can finally do this movie right. And for as crappy as the first films were, guilty pleasure, I enjoyed them. I did enjoy them. I enjoyed seeing video game movies. But was this done well? Okay, so the story is linear, and it makes sense that they make it linear, and it makes sense for the story to be linear. Cole Young has to be a character in this movie, so I get it. I get why that has happened, but I do think that, you know, instead of focusing on that story, maybe they could have focused on another story and took a different angle as opposed to coming at it from the Scorpion Sub-Zero angle. I think that might have helped them, and then they wouldn't have had to bring this brand spanking new character in. Do I like the layout of where they're going? Yes, I do like the layout of where they're going. We're gonna get some of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, some of the cheesiest characters in the game known to man. Smoke is coming.
Or like Reptile, which I thought was that reptilian.
Reptile was I don't know what the heck that was.
I love Reptile, I love Smoke, but that I was like, that's actually a reptile. That's literally a fucking lizard. Like that's not.
Okay, so people who haven't watched the movie yet,
pause. Remember, this is no spoilers. This is filmatic. So
well, I'll tell you after this to make it so it will make sense. But your review is not going to be coherent then. So yeah, I enjoy where they're going with this. Hopefully they do get to make another movie, but IDK if they will. So yeah, I mean, I hope to see another one of these films, but just from a film perspective, the CGI. First of all, whatever that they could have just did the human reptile, like they could have just kept whatever that was. Then Kano with his eye, I mean, it didn't even look like they like took the time to like scrub the CGI, so some of it wasn't like, you know, it just it feels like they pushed this back a week and it feels like they rushed it.
They're like, look, we're not done with CGI, but it's good enough. Put it out.
Yeah, like, because there's a lot of stuff that's happened in this movie, and the CGI is. I agree. They should have had more human elements. This is instead of trying to CGI everything. The sets are hard. I get the sets. Like, it's hard.
They're really not. There's so many people that have built sets or have gone to places that look shitty and torn down and kind of added to it. You could have done it. They did all of these sets basically green screen in a studio somewhere. It felt like, for me.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think that they could have been a little bit more realistic, and if a lot more money was put into it. I
mean,
if you're trying,
that's because of COVID.
If you're trying to do it right, and I don't know if this was filmed during the COVID time. There's no guarantee that this was filmed. It could have been something that was filmed for a while, and then once COVID happened, they couldn't release it at the time that it was supposed to come out. But the fact of the matter is that if you want to do this right, then do it right. Don't half-ass it. Don't sugarcoat it with shitty graphics. CGI graphics, do it right. And I think that even with no names and even with the story that they had, that story just would have been a lot better with outdoing the CGI that they did on the shitty scale and did a lot more like real blood and real locations kind of thing. That would have upped it significantly. That to me would have already been in an A category just from that. So
yeah, I mean, okay, so just from what I can see, in November, of last year, they still had more stuff to film. So I guess they were filming during COVID. And it makes sense why everything would be green screen then, because it's kind of hard to travel to different places and all that other stuff with COVID going on. I get that he could have hampered the movie, but if that's the case, you already pushed it back, so just wait. I mean, I agree with you. Just do it right. Don't,
But there's no guarantee to say that that's the reason why it's shitty because of COVID or because it was rushed. That's an assumption. They could have still done everything legitimately. There are a lot of movies, Mission Impossible, blah, blah, blah. They're still filming things legitimate. We're not going to get Mission Impossible with shitty CGI just because of COVID. They're still going to do it right. So I don't really blame it on CGI. I really legitimately think that whoever was the director of this did not take the time to try and make it perfect. That maybe they wanted to focus on story and a new story, and that was their main focus versus the delivery.
Well, it ain't a new story.
Versus well, in their eyes.
It's not a new story. It just they added a new character. They threw a new wrinkle in there, but it's not a new story. It was a new wrinkle that wasn't even needed.
I just whoever was sitting in a fucking office and said to myself, you know what? His power should be a gold suit. Let's give him a gold suit. Needs to be fired. Whoever that person is.
And then he looks so awkward in it too. It's like he looks so weird and awkward in it. Number one. Number two, his whole thing, like his character development was whack. His costume was whack. Like everything about him is weak. And then he's supposed to be going to get somebody else.
You could have put
somebody else in the film to begin with.
There goes people that matter. Get him. I don't care about him. Let's see all Liu Kang, blah blah blah. I love how they end it, and like you said, the direction that they're going. I don't know what other bad guys. It's been a while. You talk about how I don't know some of those people. It's because I don't play the new Mortal Kombat. I grew up off the originals, so I know that the new ones brought in new characters, and the new games actually have a storyline that they're trying to invoke. That wasn't the case on Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat or whatever.
Listen to me. First of all, don't test me. Sir. Number one,
you get the hands on. You get the hands on this.
Number two, all of these characters that are coming. Again, we'll talk after. Are in the originals. It's just you don't understand the lore, and that's okay. But yeah, my rating for this C, average.
Yeah,
average. And it hurts. And it hurts my heart to do that.
I know that you may feel differently, but I'll say it from my perspective. I hate to give it a C, but I just feel like giving it a B. It's not to say that it's a bad
It's a
movie.
disservice.
It's definitely something I think people can watch and enjoy watching. The nostalgia of Mortal Kombat in general, I think people can enjoy. So don't take the ratings to say that it's shit. It's still not as good as, or better than the originals that they came out with. The original Mortal Kombat, I liked. Annihilation sucked. But to me, I think that if I'm comparing this one to the original first Mortal Kombat, I still kind of like the first Mortal Kombat. The only difference that I like about the newer one is the characters that we were able to get. Otherwise, I feel like the first one had better CGI.
which is saying something.
Than the original, than the new one.
I'm not gonna put no caveats on it. Y'all know how my scale go on this show. If it's quality work, it's gonna get a quality grade, and this is average. I in my heart, I hate to give it that. I wanted to come on here and be like, they finally did it. They finally made a video game movie that was fire. Can't do that.
And they're gonna fuck up next, because now they're gonna come out with another live action remake of Dragon Ball Z. And
Jesus Christ, please don't. Please don't.
But I mean, there it is for you guys. It's an average movie, but I definitely say that you guys should check it out. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell, tie a little note to a pigeon's leg, send it on its way, send up some smoke signals, let us know. Maybe put a message in a bottle, throw it inside the water, and let it hit our shores and okay. I am not entertained. I am not entertained. You're not gonna get me. Nope. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. Yeah. You're done. Fishing season's done. It's a wrap, kids. Yes. And as always, this has been another exciting episode of Film addict.
Film addict.